When you think about the most important inventions in history, something like the compass can feel, I don't know, almost too simple.
Deceptively simple, but it's a tool that fundamentally changed the world map.
Absolutely. So for this deep dive, we're tracing that story. We want to look at how the technology evolved so quickly.
The huge navigational challenges it solved, and then, of course, the massive impact it had on, well, everyone.
Okay, so let's jump in. The story starts in ancient China, maybe the 4th century BC, with this thing called the Sinan.
Right, which was basically a spoon carved from natural lodestone. But the key thing, and this surprises people, is that it wasn't for sailing at first.
Not at all. It was for land. We have records of the Zheng people using it so they wouldn't get lost while, of all things, looking for jade.
And those early lodestones, they were pretty weak magnets. The real breakthrough, the thing that made it powerful, came later in the Tang and Song dynasties.
Artificial magnetization.
Exactly. They figured out you could just rub a regular iron needle with a lodestone and create a much stronger, much more reliable magnet.
So that brings us to the sea. They have this powerful new needle. How do they actually use it on a ship, and what was the immediate problem?
The first method was what they called the water floating technique. You just float the magnetized needle in a bowl of water.
Which sounds fine on paper, but on a moving ship.
It was a disaster. The sources describe it as being hartshit, which means it was just shaping violently. You couldn't get a reliable reading.
So here's the leap, right? The change that makes it a tool for global exploration.
This is it. By the 12th century, again in China, they invent the dry compass. They get rid of the water entirely.
And what do they do instead?
They put the needle on a fixed pivot. It's a small mechanical change, but it meant the compass was finally stable and reliable, even in rough seas. That's the tool that changed everything.
But there was another, almost a scientific discovery that had to happen too. The problem of magnetic declination.
Yeah, this is fascinating. A writer named Shen Kuo around 1080 AD noted that the needle didn't point to true south. It always pointed slightly east.
Which is centuries ahead of European science.
Centuries. And this creates a huge problem if you need precision. If magnetic north isn't true north, you have to be able to account for that.
And that's where the famous Chinese Lupan comes in, right? That complex, layered device.
Exactly. It was built with all these concentric rings and scales designed specifically to let navigators measure and then correct for that angular difference.
It's amazing that this level of precision wasn't just for ships. It was crucial for things like Feng Shui, for laying out entire cities with the right orientation.
It had to be that accurate. And once you have that accuracy, the societal impact is almost immediate.
There's a text from 1119 AD that says, on cloudy days, sailors relied only on the compass.
Think about that. You're suddenly free from the stars, from having to see the coastline. You can just go.
What does that newfound confidence mean for the world?
It means globalization, really. It fuels the huge expansion of the maritime Silk Road, the rise of giant port cities like Quanzhou, and of course it makes the entire age of discovery possible.
No Columbus in 1492, no Magellan in 1519, not without a reliable compass.
You can't cross an ocean without one. This piece of tech helps establish the first truly global trade networks, and it's what's behind the rise of naval powers like Portugal and Spain.
But it's crucial to see both sides of that coin.
It is. You have this incredible acceleration of cultural and economic exchange, crops, ideas, technology moving around the globe. But those same voyages also enabled colonialism, the slave trade, and, just devastating population loss for indigenous peoples, especially in the Americas.
So you trace it all back, and it's this journey from a magnetic spoon for finding jade to a pivoted needle that points humanity towards a completely new, interconnected era.
The tech itself was an incredible achievement, but the outcome, the prosperity and the conflict, that was all about how people chose to use that newfound ability to navigate.
So maybe here's the final thought. The compass proved that simply knowing your direction can shift global power. Even with GPS in our pockets today, it makes you wonder, what tool are we building right now that will completely restructure the world in the next few hundred years?